Morning, everybody. Today, I decided to make this whole video all about Belle. Belle is a fan favorite. Come here, bud. Come up here. Belle is a fan favorite of the show. People always have comments for Belle. I know Mickey, if you're watching, you always ask Belle to give us a hug, and we do. So I wanted to make this whole video about her. Belle is 9 years old. She she doesn't apparently doesn't want to be petted right now. Belle is 9 years old. She is mostly Chihuahua, but she's also mixed with something called a Vizsla or a Vizsla, which is a much larger dog. We are Belle's third pet parents, I guess you could say it that way. She is super greedy, as you can see. So we got Belle when she was 6 months old. We were living in an apartment at the time, and she had at least two other pet parents, possibly three, depending on who we talked to at the daycare. She is super hyper. So what was happening is it's not that she's a bad dog at all. She's actually really good. She's very vocal, and she's very hyper. So especially when she was a puppy. So at 6 months old, when people would adopt her from the shelter, they would bring her home, and they were like, holy crap, what did we just bring home? She's super hyper. She needs a lot of attention. She has a lot of energy. So they would return her. And then we adopted her at the age of 6 months and brought her home. And we said, holy crap, what did we just bring home? Because she's something special. She's really, really hyper. Like I said, she's very good. She's smart. She learns things. You guys might have seen the video where we taught her how to ring a bell if she needs to go outside. She knows all these commands. She doesn't know any tricks. We never taught her tricks, but she knows like move over. She knows sit and lay down, and all the basics. And she's been a great traveler. So the reason why we RV is because of Belle. Sabrina's work required her to travel full time, and we decided that we were going to change up our lives a little bit so that I could travel full time with her. Some of you guys know the backstory. I sold my small business. We moved out of our apartment, moved into an RV, and started to travel together full time. And my job basically was just to get Sabrina from job to job for a long time. And we needed a way to travel full time with Belle. She's just a little too big for air travel. She doesn't really care for hotels too much because she is super reactive. So what we came up with was actually RVing. We found a couple YouTube channels that had pets, and they were traveling with their pets, and it seemed to work out pretty well. All the campgrounds are pet friendly, and we thought, well, maybe this could work for us. And luckily, Belle is a great traveler. So Belle has now traveled about 120,000 miles in this RV. She's traveled about 3,000 or 4,000 miles in a van. She's done about maybe another 2,000 miles in a Class C. So all in all, she's got a lot of travel experience, and she's been almost all across America. She's been into parts of Canada, mostly on the east coast of Canada. Why don't you want to be petted today? She will be going into Mexico with us in October. We're doing a big fantasy RV tour where we're going to drive the RV into Baja, New Mexico. Or not New Mexico, Baja, California, Mexico. Always throws me off. So we're doing like a food and wine festival with the fantasy RV tour. And there's about 12 RVs. We'll all cross over into Mexico together. This will be our first time taking Belle into Mexico. Sabrina and I have been in Mexico a couple times, and we've walked across the border with no issues. We've driven into Canada with Belle with no issues. So we're hoping driving into Mexico with Belle will be no issues. There's a lot of things that you need to do to bring a pet into Mexico. I would say even more so than Canada, I believe. Sabrina actually knows all those details. But Belle does not like any type of border crossing. She doesn't like when we pull up to even a toll booth or anything like that. There's something about the toll booths and border crossings that set her off. When I open up my window and slide it open to talk to somebody, she really freaks out. So we're actually going to give her a little bit of Benadryl for the trip down into Mexico, just to kind of it calms her down. So just to kind of calm her down a little bit, that is Belle's kryptonite, is her hyperness and overreaction to everything. It's taken a long time for her to get used to people, even at campgrounds. Like if they walk by the front of our windshield, she sits up there and she's on guard all the time. So she will flip out. I mean, there's no other word for it. She flips out. She doesn't do it all the time. She only does it when Sabrina's around. So we have noticed there's a big behavioral change. When Sabrina's around, Belle is more extra. Belle doesn't seem to care so much if people, like I was walking Belle last night here at this rest area and somebody came up to me and talked to me, and Belle didn't care. If Sabrina was with me, that would have been a no-go. She does not like people walking up to Sabrina at all. She doesn't even like people looking at Sabrina. That's like, Sabrina's hers. Me, I guess I'm chopped liver. I don't know. She doesn't seem to mind if people look at me, talk to me. Every once in a while, she doesn't like it, but for the most part, she's okay with people talking to me, but she does not like people talking to Sabrina. I kind of got off track there for a second, and I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I would say that she's mostly a really good traveler. She doesn't get car sick. She's never gotten sick. Well, I shouldn't say she's never gotten sick in the RV. She has gotten sick in the RV, but we were parked. So it wasn't from traveling. She just had an upset stomach, and she got sick all over the dash of the RV, and that was a big mess. I was actually working a show at the time. Yeah, but she's a good girl. She's a good girl. You're a good girl, right? You want to lay down? No. Belle, can you lay down? Lay down. Good girl. Good girl. You are a good girl. Like I said, she's very treat greedy here. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about Belle, because I know a lot of people are interested in Belle and how she travels. She gets along with other dogs really well. She goes to, when we are home, she does go to a doggy daycare, and she interacts with dogs. I think she goes to the doggy daycare like twice a week when we're home, just because of how hyper she is and how much energy she has. I mean, I can walk Belle all day long and it wouldn't do anything for her. Nothing gets her energy out better than a doggy daycare. And I'll say also, while traveling, the doggy daycares have been great too. Like when we're down at Disney World, there's a place called Best Friends, and she goes to Best Friends for the week. She comes home every night. We don't really like boarding her too much. She has a lot of anxiety, and she's okay to go to like a doggy daycare for the day, but she doesn't want to be left there overnight. Maybe that's more me than her, but I don't feel like she wants to be left there overnight. So like when we're at Disney, I drop her off in the morning, and then I pick her back up every night, and she just goes there and she just plays for the day. And she seems to really enjoy it. She comes home tired. By the end of the vacation, Sabrina and I are tired. Belle's tired. We're all tired. But that has actually worked really well all across the country. Normally what you need to do is just make sure that all of your vet information is up to date. You call the daycare that you want to have your pet play at for that week or for that day. Usually they'll ask you to email that information to them. They'll look it over, make sure everything's up to date. Every daycare is a little different. Every doggy daycare is a little different across the country. Some will want things that others don't, and you might just need to be prepared that what's good at one daycare as far as shots and stuff like that may not be good at another daycare, and they might want an extra level of like a bordello shot or whatever other these shots are called. But knowing in advance where you're going to be, calling in advance, talking to the doggy daycare, making sure that you have everything you need has really worked out well for us. A lot of times they'll give us like a half-day trial, and that first half day is free, just as a trial to make sure that she is okay with other pets. She's never had an issue. She's always been accepted at every doggy daycare that she's gone to, which may or may not surprise you depending on if you've ever met Belle. Belle does not like everybody. Sometimes she will meet somebody that she just doesn't like, and she acts ferocious in a sense. But we've never had a problem with her at doggy daycares. I think, again, it's part of the reason is that Sabrina and I are not around, and she doesn't feel like she needs to protect us. I feel like she tries to show off a lot when Sabrina and I are around by acting a little wilder than she is. I also think that she's very scared of things. We're 90% sure that she was abused before we had her, only because of the way that she acts, even around us. after nine, I mean, we've had her for 9 years. And at the end of the day, when I take my belt off at night to go to bed, she like winces and ducks a little bit. And I've never hit her. So we were pretty sure in those first 6 months, she must have been abused at one point. She does have some funny scars like on her belly. I don't think they were from surgery. They're just like weird markings and scarring and stuff like that. So she might have been abused as a pup. I would say that she most likely was, only for that fact that, like I said, 9 years later, and if I take my belt off, she runs. She doesn't run. She winches, and then she'll go in another room, or it's more just the wincing. I'm like, why would you? How would you? Yeah, you must have been hit by a belt at one time if somebody taking off their belt kind of disturbs you. So she's, like I said, she's a good girl. And I just wanted to come on and just dedicate a video to her because she is good. She's so good traveling with me. When it's just me and her, Belle does a ton of solo trips with me, and she watches my back. She has stopped somebody from entering our RV before, so I can't even be upset with her when she gets extra, because I was tinkering underneath the RV at one of our headlights to adjust it, and I heard her barking, and I didn't really think too much of it because she does bark at people a lot, and I just figured it was somebody in the distance. But her barking seemed a little, it got escalated, so I got out from underneath the RV, and somebody was standing on our steps of our RV, and I said, "Can I help you?" I guess he didn't know that I was under the RV, and the guy was like, "Oh, I saw this little dog in here, and I wanted to come in and say hi." I was like, "That dog doesn't want to see you, and honestly, I don't want to see you. I would appreciate it if you left." And he said, "Oh, I didn't really mean anything by it." And he backed up and he stepped down off the steps and he started walking away, backed away. And he's like, "I'm really sorry. I didn't really mean anything by it. I just thought I could go in and say hi to your dog." I was like, "Absolutely not." And so, I mean, she is really great in that sense that she does alert us of everything. Everything is a red alert situation. But she does, we feel safer with her, even though she's only 26 pounds. I don't think she would ever, like that guy. I mean, that guy was not scared enough to back away on his own without me coming around the RV. She was not enough to scare him away. But she alerted me, and I guess the two of us together, he was like, "Oh, maybe this is a little too much." I don't know. I don't know, but she really is. I can't say enough just how good of a girl she is, right? Yeah, you're a good girl. You want to come back up here? Come here. Come on. Come up here, say goodbye to everybody. All right, everybody, that's it. I wish you safe travels. If you guys have any questions about RVing with a dog or a pet in general, I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I actually know somebody that does. I'm very good friends with GoPetFriendly.com, the owners of GoPetFriendly.com. If I can't find you an answer, I'm sure I could reach out to them and ask them, and they would be more than happy to give me the answer and relay it back to you. So that's it. Take care. Safe travels. And if you're headed to the Hershey Show, that's where me and Belle are headed. And we'll see you, hopefully we'll see you out there. It's looking like it's going to be a really good event. I've talked to Winnebago. They're releasing a brand new travel trailer. They're going to let me film it on Tuesday. And I'm going to film that. Actually, I'm just going to go live on Tuesday with this new, all brand new travel trailer called the Access. So tune in on Tuesday. I hope to have a live tour with somebody from Winnebago. All right, everybody. Take care. Safe travels. I'll catch you next time.